Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 151 based on novel. So let's start. Primal Chaos City. Luo Feng immediately became a beam of light and swiftly flew within Primal Chaos City, looking for the training building balcony that Lian Luo had used back then. Luo Feng had gone to look for that training balcony from a long time ago. Within the virtual universe, Yuxiong Mountain's absolute beginning region, Rong Jun's training grounds within his villa, teacher. Carrying the earth-splitting blade, the savage youth Rong Jun bowed respectfully. Ahead of him stood a tall and majestic man in simple training clothes. Looking at this man was like looking at a black hole within space, giving off a natural form of awe and respect. His gaze seemed to pierce through space itself. He was the universe country leader of Yuan Chen, an undying from who knows how long ago, older by tens of thousands of times than even planets and stars, an ancient eternal being. Yuan Chen country leader nodded. I'll now demonstrate to you the first form of the huge axe primal chaos tablet. Rong Jun's eyes gleamed. The country leader waved his hand. A huge axe appeared in his hand. Simultaneously the space around the training grounds warped, changing into a universe space scene. Look closely. The Yuan Chen country leader's eyes were deep and profound, almost like they contained within them the universe space itself. He raised the huge axe in his hands. Immediately his entire being seemed like it became a huge axe itself. Just the willpower and energy emitting from the huge axe alone was enough to cause the space around to tremor and seem to almost split open. He waved the axe. The country leader coldly waved the huge axe. Immediately the space around seemed to gather and condense like paper, and tearing apart after. Even the stars ahead were completely split apart, after which the entire space tremored and the space dissipated, returning to the original state. Rong Jun's eyes stared wide, in his mind recalling the scene over and over again, raising the axe, condensing his energy to its maximum. Waving the axe, the space gathered and later tore apart like paper. The huge axe tablet is the most profound of the 52. Yuan Chen country leader said coldly, when you've comprehended this first form, and eventually make it past the fourth level of the heavenly bridge, I will then demonstrate the second form for you. Yes, teacher. Rong Jun said respectfully. The country leader nodded and his lips curled, almost like a smile. Following which he vanished. So it's that way, it's like this. After his teacher left, Rong Jun's eyes gleamed. This first form is unleashed this way. Actually, as the country leader was demonstrating, he purposely slowed down his actions, releasing his energy to teach and let Rong Jun feel it thoroughly, allowing him to witness and comprehend to the highest of his ability. Adoptive father, just watch this barbarian reach the peak. Rong Jun muttered softly, following which he began to study the first form. As the first form of the huge axe tablet, it was indeed profound and mysterious. If he could completely comprehend this first form, he would be able to easily defeat that absolute genius Bolan. After all, Bolan only managed to finish the second level. Outside Primal Chaos City, so this is the Primal Chaos City's third treasure. Carrying a blood blade, the white-robed youth Bolan stood outside the entrance of Primal Chaos, looking at the huge stone tablet with the words introducing the third treasure. His cold eyes gleamed with excitement. Teacher, you told me to look for you once I reach the undying level. I will get to the undying level with the greatest speed. I definitely will, Bolan. Out of tens of millions of years of genius battles, he was able to be number one throughout. Even though he had heard that some universe country leader had accepted Rong Jun as his disciple, he never thought of anyone else as an opponent. There was no opponent within, hence he was invincible. His opponent was himself. Faster, faster, faster. Reach the undying level faster, become an absolute being amongst the undying, become an official emperor. Bolan muttered, as he had high confidence and aspirations, his improvement and comprehension of the space origin laws constantly rose greatly. His comprehension was extremely strong. Naturally his comprehension of the other elements linked within space was strong as well. Actually, he was completely able to study gold, wood, water, fire, and earth, as these five were all very compatible with space. However, he chose wind. As wind, thunder, light, these were more compatible with time. His ambition was great, even more terrifying than the Time Sector Lord. However, in terms of talent, he was far more talented than the Time Sector Lord Luo. He had the capability. Rong Jun had the Yuan Chen Universe country leader as his teacher. His own battle abilities and talent were also extremely strong. Bolan had never once thought of him as an opponent. His opponent was himself. The other geniuses, like the hypnotist Jiolai 11, Wuka, Ai Chen, Jiang Mo, Long Yun etc., they all had their own backgrounds and strengths. To be able to make it to this level, no one would admit defeat easily. They were all still aiming to make it into the absolute beginning region, the primal region. Like Rong Jun, a primal region genius, now that he's been pushed aside by Rong Jun, how could he take it? The chaos energy revolved within. Luo Feng walked along the alleys, looking at the training place ahead. On this wall there was a line of words, 9 Universe Sect. Any wall with such words of the sect on them represented that the area belonged to that sect and was a public area, not for private use. After all, other than the 52 primal chaos tablets, there were many other markings within the city that were exceptional, hence these all became public training areas, anyone could come view them. Of the 112 Luo Feng had picked before, 103 of them were public training areas. Floating Blood's founder Lian Luo, he stayed here during his time. The 112 I chose before didn't include this place. Luo Feng sighed within. There was no way around it. Primal Chaos City was too huge, the training spaces were too huge. Just 8 short days of searching around, there was no way to search in full detail every marking in each space, he could only make quick decisions. Entering the training area. Quickly following up the stairs up to the balcony with a width and length of 100 m had messy random scribbles all over. Simultaneously there were several special words all over. This was the training space of the genius Lian Luo. Luo Feng frowned curiously. True Yang Emperor was talking about this. Luo Feng jumped down from the balcony, landing at the entrance. He looked at the number and it was indeed 0290028891. The number is right, it's this one. Luo Feng jumped and returned to the balcony, the markings on this balcony. Luo Feng carefully examined it. All the buildings of Primal Chaos City used almost the same kind of stone, this stone in the primal universe, they didn't decay even after trillions of years. It was mysterious, even after trillions of years, the markings were still extremely clear. Blade meanings? Luo Feng looked at the messy scribbles all over. Squatting down, he carefully examined the bodies of them. The seemingly casual markings indeed had many similarities in the 9 Universe tablet, they do have a similar feeling compared to the 9 Universe tablet. However, they are just bits and pieces, not forming a whole picture. What's the use? But True Yang Emperor told me to come here. Luo Feng swept his gaze over the area, suddenly spotting several special peculiar words at the side. Barbata, translate for me, what's the meaning? Luo Feng thought within, no problem. Barbata swiftly translated. The screen on his shoulder immediately filled with some words. I, Lian Luo, while comprehending the 9 Universe tablet, have experienced over 3,000 years of study. Finally, I've created the Floating Blood secret manual. Haha, once the Floating Blood is completed, the 1st of March pictures no longer hold any mystery for me, everything became incredibly clear to me. These the 1st of March pictures are mostly comprehending the foundation of the 9 Universe Primal Chaos tablet. My basics are incredibly solid, even if others can compare, even if they are studying the 4th picture, their comprehension of the space origin law may not even match up to mine. The 4th, 5th and 6th pictures and how to train them, I've already got full confidence, I'll definitely become an undying, gaining the title Emperor. A few lines of words, a total of 108 words. However, after translating to Mandarin, the word count had several differences, so confident. Luo Feng was shocked, these words were infused with exciting and strong confidence. Even after a trillion years of difference, Luo Feng could almost see the distant ancient, an absolute genius. After completing the Floating Blood, he was absolutely confident about his future, leaving behind such words. Indeed, his improvement was indeed shockingly fast. After becoming an undying, he was immediately given the title official. Until the point he fell, his lifespan hadn't even reached 100,000 years. If he lived just a bit longer, becoming an emperor was really no problem. Luo Feng nodded within, his improvement speed was no lousier than Bolan's. Standing on the balcony, Luo Feng thought for a while. Luo Feng. Barbata shouted, this Lian Luo was speaking right, the 1st of March pictures are the foundation of the 9 Universe tablet. This Floating Blood was worshipped as the best basic technique by True Yang Emperor. For him to be able to create this technique, obviously his comprehension of the first 3 pictures had already reached the pinnacle level. The stronger one's basics are, the stronger he'll become later. Just like how when you attempted the first level on the Heavenly Bridge, your opponent only used 3 golden blades, yet he's still stronger than you using 9 blades and unleashing the Heavenly Blade formation. Luo Feng had known about the importance of the basics from early on. To be able to build a tall skyscraper, the foundation was the beginning, the stronger it was, the higher it would be able to go. The basics of Lian Luo obviously had reached the pinnacle level of his basics. Luo Feng thought hard as he looked at those lines. Quietly looking, what are you looking at? Are you listening? Barbata shouted unsatisfied, don't make noise. Luo Feng's expression was serious, his eyes gleamed, staring at the 108 peculiar words that he didn't understand at all. True Yang Emperor asked me to come here, it should have been to look at these 108 words. Barbata was shocked, I didn't notice before, however after looking for a while, I can feel it. Luo Feng stared hard at the words, these 108 words, every word has a different feeling behind them. However, the 108 words together form a complete picture. Anyone who doesn't pay close attention to each word wouldn't discover the different feeling and energy behind each words. The 3 pictures of the 9 universe tablet flashed past Luo Feng's mind. The third picture was the downpour picture. There were a total of 108 drops. Terrifying, it's too terrifying. Luo Feng's gaze was filled with a hard-to-suppress gleam of excitement. He actually put all of the feelings within the downpour picture, all expressed through these 108 words. Even though he still couldn't see it clearly, however on careful examination he discovered it. Compared to the raindrop picture, this was more complex. Each word was like a blade slash began to form within. The information before had explained that the floating blood was a technique to use a blade. Right, every word here is a blade form, 108 blade forms, completely explaining the basics of the 9 universe tablet. Luo Feng finally understood just how terrifying the genius Lian Luo back then was. He didn't have time to be surprised. Luo Feng was already completely immersed within the 108 words, comparing his mental thoughts of the 9 universe tablet before with this. He worked hard to find the 108 blade forms within. There are a total of 9 pictures in the 9 universe tablet. The first raindrop picture has 9 drops, every 2 drops have different meanings behind them. As Luo Feng was immersed in the 108 words, he constantly compared his mental notes of the words to the tablet. These 108 words, there are 9 words that resound with the raindrop picture. These 9 words, just like the 9 drops, Luo Feng could feel that their meanings were seemingly identical. These 9 words had complex strokes, causing him to feel 9 blade forms, profound. As Luo Feng studied the 9 words more, he felt it get more and more profound. Every blade form was a texture of the universe space itself. Every blade form seemed to explain a certain essence of the universe space itself. Even though its surface meaning resounded between the 9 words and the 9-drop picture, deducing and comprehending had a huge difference. Even people who didn't understand English, looking at 2 similar letters in different words, one could still discern them. However, to actually learn the entire language was tens of thousands of times harder than simply identifying letters. Luo Feng was like this currently. As Luo Feng stood on this balcony, immersed in these words, within that wrist space, Barbata was bored and sighed, madness, what space origin laws are there within? Even the teacher before, when he became an undying, he didn't study the essence of universe space that deeply. This Lian Luo is indeed a number 1 of the genius battle from 1 trillion years ago. Geniuses indeed, they do things at another level. Comprehending the space law, it needn't be that complex. Just like how many people on Earth learn the computer, they learn how to use the program word, they only learn the usage methods, simply using was enough. However, Lian Luo back then actually explained the essence of the universe space, even using 108 words to express it. Just like learning the word program, this Lian Luo didn't simply learn how to use it, but explain the entire program and how it worked, explaining how the program was written. Explaining the essence. Comprehending the universe origin law was the same. Though still in the midst of comprehending allowed the warriors to understand how to get better and to realize what was right. Hence, borrowing the feeling from these principles, allowed them to unleash their attacks infused with the laws, hence the power increases drastically. However, those feelings, they were regarded as mysterious. If people questioned, they had no way to actually explain. They could only exclaim, you can only experience, you can't pass on simply through words. Wrong. It was bullshit that it couldn't be passed by word. It wasn't that it couldn't be passed by word, only that many strong warriors and even undying hadn't fully comprehended clearly the essence. Naturally they said it was unclear. Just like the Mosha clan, it blends with space itself, Maybe their battle strength was intrepid and a blur. However, in terms of comprehending the space laws themselves, the Mosha clan was similar to the Earth human body. True Yang Emperor is indeed a being close to the universe country leader, making Luo Feng come study the essence of space itself. It is indeed a very precise path. Barbata was very clear, because he had witnessed the master of the Yun Mo planet Hu Yangbo's entire training process. The initial period was fast. However, the further back he went, the harder it got. The further he went, the more he felt the space origin laws got more and more profound, harder to see it clearly. If from the beginning, he had studied the essence of the universe space laws itself, slowly studying, the start may have been slower. However, towards the end, the improvement speed would be faster and faster. Barbata exclaimed softly, no wonder, even though the boss used 1 trillion years, he barely had the strength of an official. And this Lian Luo didn't even take 100,000 years, yet the moment he became undying he was immediately given the title official. Difference, when I unleash my movement, with a move I'm able to produce over 20 images. However, as to why I'm able to produce these images, I don't fully understand. Luo Feng studied for a while, beginning to feel his mental state grow weary as he immersed himself in the study. He couldn't help but exclaim, at least now I understand a little. Only a little. However, just understanding that little bit made him shocked. Barbata, how long have I been studying? Luo Feng asked. A little more than 18 days, Barbata replied, over half a month, and I only understood a little bit of the first form? Luo Feng was shocked within. This comprehension of the origin laws, when compared to studying the essence itself, obviously had a different level of difficulty. At my current speed, how long would it take me to study the first form? It's a pity I don't have the floating blood manual. These 108 words were after all just words. The floating blood manual was the true training method left behind by Lian Luo. If he had the manual, Luo Feng was confident that the studying process would definitely be much faster, just 800 points. Luo Feng gritted his teeth. Luo Feng, just passing the first heavenly bridge, wouldn't that give you 1,000 points? I know. Luo Feng shook his head. However, my current self doesn't have enough guarantee to pass the first level. These few days, at least the previous study session of the 9 universe tablet, he had almost fully digested. His understanding of the space law was deeper now, and if he unleashed the sky heavenly formation, its power would be much greater. He may win, but he didn't have full confidence. If only I can fully comprehend the first form. 9 golden blades, with this first feeling as the link, can form one complete perfect form. Its power would definitely be absurd. Luo Feng's first study, he finally began to understand what benefits that first form was going to add to him. Luo Feng looked into the distant primal chaos city. After training for so long, my mental state is weary. I'll head outside the city to take a look. Previously, the black-robed receiver said there were 3 treasures. This third treasure had a stone tablet outside explaining. Luo Feng knew himself that at his current state, he couldn't continue studying. Hence he headed directly to the entrance of the city. Just what was this third treasure? The first treasure was the primal universe's obvious revolving origin laws. The second was the 52 primal chaos tablets. The third, just what was it? Primal chaos city, within an ancient mansion that was extremely huge. Go out. The ape-man waved his hand. Yes, teacher. About 10 undyings below, sector lords, they all bowed respectfully and left the mansion. That Luo Feng actually didn't buy the floating blood manual? True Yang Emperor sat in the chair frowning. Simultaneously part of his consciousness communicated with his AI. He's a member of the absolute beginning region. He should have been awarded 10,000 points. What? He used it all right at the beginning? From his AI, he found out that Luo Feng had used all of his 10,000 points. True Yang was speechless. He actually bought an illusionary manual? True Yang Emperor shook his head. His current strength definitely has no need to buy the illusionary manual. He should buy a more basic technique. What's suitable is the most apartment. This little punk actually used all his points straight away. That's really True Yang Emperor frowned. How troublesome. Lian Luo, that sick genius. Back then he still took a few tens of thousands of years to explain the 108 forms. This explanation of the origin law essences is much harder than simply comprehending, especially since it tests one's intelligence, temperament, and also his level of comprehension. Unless one is an absolute genius, it's hard to study it. From the beginning, one would begin to comprehend the essence of the space origin law, and in the future, his achievements would be high. This point, from the absolute beings within the 1008 universe countries, who didn't know. However, even after knowing, this method still wasn't spread wide. Mainly because the requirements on one's temperament, intelligence, space comprehension, these were extremely and absurdly high. One first had to have a high comprehension of space. If one couldn't even feel the space laws, how could he study deeper? As for intelligence and temperament, one had to maintain his state and calmness while studying. The moment one gets fickle and impatient, one would lose a lot of the work he's done. Temperament was very important, just thinking about it one would know, and this level of comprehending the universe space origins, comprehension was even more important. Walking this path, to many strong warriors would only waste away long periods of time. That Lian Luo, number one in the genius battle, also required tens of thousands of years. Someone with lesser talent and intelligence, like Jiang Mo, Ari Chen, and Wuka that level, one would require millions of years. And those other normal geniuses would waste away their entire sector Lord 1000 eras and not succeed. Even though these 30 years in Primal Chaos City are very important to him. However, making him feel some loss, wasting a few years is fine. True Yang Emperor shook his head. Let him remember for the long term, understand that some valuable items and stuff shouldn't be used completely before understanding their full uses for the future. True Yang Emperor didn't think more about it. Even though he was paying attention to Luo Feng, it was mostly only due to him picking the same path and sect. Just hinting him slightly was enough. That all, he wasn't involved enough to help or do anything for him. Luo Feng currently wasn't worth him doing anything. Primal Chaos City, with walls that went on forever. The doors opened and several warriors left or entered. Luo Feng too followed the door and headed out. Where's the stone tablet? Luo Feng stood at the entrance, looking at the continuous walls that extended forever, engulfed in the chaos energy. Suddenly he spotted on the left there was an incredibly huge stone tablet. On it were scribbles of universe language words. At the top wrote the third treasure of Primal Chaos City, Primal Chaos Spirit. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. The contents of the stone tablet was roughly: Primal Chaos Spirit. When a universe is in its primal state, the primal universe will naturally produce peculiar beings. These beings have peculiar appearances. They are currently called Primal Chaos Beasts. These beasts have different levels of strength. They are all proficient in different origin laws, some more so than others. Killing the Primal Chaos Beasts, their bodies will decay into large amounts of chaos energy and a dark green light will be produced. This dark green light is where their core lies. They don't have souls, only a life light. This light has been named as Primal Chaos Spirit. As long as one absorbs this Primal Chaos Spirit into their bodies, one's soul will naturally absorb it, and with absorption, their soul will slightly change, melding better with the universe space. Luo Feng. A voice caused Luo Feng to turn before he finished reading the entire tablet. The distant savage Rong Jun descended from mid-air, immediately landing on the ground and walking barefooted to Luo Feng, smiling. Ha ha, I haven't seen you around these past days. Are you getting ready to head out to hunt the Primal Chaos Beasts? However, you have to be careful. Just from hunting these Primal Chaos Beasts, we've already lost a few from our batch. What? Luo Feng was shocked. You said we've lost a bunch from our batch. Rong Jun shook his head. When I first found out, my reaction was similar to yours. However, after heading outside and hunting the Primal Chaos Beasts, I didn't find it weird anymore. Also, do you remember? When we first took the universe ship and came over to the Primal Universe, that knight also said those words. Luo Feng recalled the scene and nodded. I remember. Back then the green armored purple-scaled man had sent the 1000 geniuses here, saying, you are all under me, I hope to see all of you alive in 30 years. When he had first heard it, Luo Feng had guessed there would be some dangers within Primal Chaos City. However, when he had studied within the city for a while, he felt it was very safe. The feeling was simply a sacred land for warriors to study and train. The city forbids any humans killing each other. Anyone who kills another would face certain death. Even if he just made a move and didn't kill, he would face severe punishment. And even looking at the large amounts of warriors training on the balconies, feeling the ancient energies revolving, there wasn't any sense of danger. It's very dangerous. Rong Jun emphasized, don't get careless, those beasts aren't easy to deal with. Of the 1000 geniuses that came this time, they were all awarded by the Virtual Universe Company with gold prizes, and the lowest amount was 10 mixed elements. Their points were enough to exchange for valuable things too. Who doesn't have trump cards? Luo Feng frowned and nodded. Things weren't looking good. The geniuses were all not easy to deal with, yet they had already lost a few of them. The primal chaos spirits were good things, yet they weren't easy to acquire. The most important thing is they have numbers, even if you bring a powerful weapon, an advanced universe ship. However, if you are careless and get surrounded, you'll be killed instantly. Rong Jun emphasized, I'll warn you, be more prudent and careful. This is reality, not the virtual universe network. The moment you die, it's over. Luo Feng held his breath. Watching Rong Jun leave, Luo Feng was startled and shaken by Rong Jun's earlier words. He turned to continue reading the stone tablet. The more the soul melts with the universe, then comprehending the universe origin laws will get clearer and easier. When a sector lord becomes undying, that's when the soul itself undergoes change. And absorbing the primal chaos spirit is a slow gradual change. The scope of change is small. An undying soul is already eternal. Absorbing the chaos spirit is ineffective. These spirits only have an effect on those below the undying level. Important note 1. Undyings are forbidden from making a move on the beasts. 2. The primal chaos beasts have low intelligence. They've already been separated by the strong warriors in Primal Chaos City into 3 regions. The first region is the closest to the city, about 2,000 kilometers area away from the city walls. They are all universe-level primal chaos beasts. This has been called the internal region. The second region is from the 2,000 kilometers mark to the 10,000 kilometers area. This is the middle region. There the beasts are all domain lord level. The third region is the outermost region. There the beasts are sector lord level. Primal chaos beasts, their strengths are from the universe level to the sector lord level. The moment there are any undying level beasts, Primal Chaos City will send out strong warriors to eliminate them. 3. Domain lord level warriors can only kill beasts within the middle region. They are forbidden from entering the internal region. Sector lords are only allowed to hunt in the outer region. They are forbidden from entering the internal and middle region. Finishing the details of the tablet, Luo Feng was silent. Damn. It's obviously for nurturing the later generation. Barbata shouted, these primal chaos beasts have already been separated into 3 regions. With Primal Chaos City's strength, they can easily kill all the beasts immediately. However, they didn't, and bred them. And the domain lords can only hunt in the middle region, sector lords outer region. Obviously the internal region is left for you all. Luo Feng nodded. Primal Chaos City was the sacred land of humanity in the universe. Here, almost everything was arranged to train the generations of warriors, allowing humanity to evolve and strengthen. Allowing the youths to risk dangers and hunt the beasts. Obviously this was for training the later generations. Staying safe would mean there would be limits in growth. Even though Primal Chaos City's 30 years was rather safe, having some sense of danger was a good thing. It was good for nurturing the young Primal Chaos beasts. Luo Feng's thoughts moved and a dark red armor extended and formed a helmet, covering his entire body in the cloud contact vine armor, revealing only his eyes. Let's take a look, just what it's about. Dressed in the dark red armor, Luo Feng stood on the dark cloud shuttle and carried the dark golden long rod on his back. The chaos energy revolved about, making it impossible for one to see too far with the naked eye. In the vast wasteland, weeds were growing everywhere. This wasteland that had been here for who knows how long, even the nameless weeds and plants, along with the rubble, they were all made up of special properties, nurtured in the chaos energy over long periods of time. They all had the same special point. No matter how long, they would never decay. Luo Feng carefully moved forward. His ears moved, immediately lowering himself and hiding behind a stone, carefully looking ahead. In the distant weeds, a black silhouette walked out. This was a 3 m tall ape-like being. His body bent, his hands landing on the ground. Except for white fur on his face, there was only one vertical brown eye and a mouth. No nose or ears. Its tail waved high and moved about. What's its strength? Luo Feng communicated to Barbata mentally. No idea. There's no such primal chaos beast in the real universe, hence the energies it is emitting. I'm unable to gauge just what level of strength it's at. Barbata said. Luo Feng nodded. The ape-like beast that was running in the distance, its tail high in the sky like lightning rod, suddenly stopped, violently turning to look in Luo Feng's direction. That single eye seemed enraged and filled with killing intent. Rumble, the tail violently swayed. The beast immediately became a beam of light heading towards Luo Feng, its huge palms grabbing at him. Go! Luo Feng stood on the dark cloud shuttle. As he retreated, he controlled with his thoughts. 9 golden lights shot out from behind him. Simultaneously 6 of them shot towards the approaching beast. Howl. The ape-like beast waved its tail again, creating an image and actually dodging 3 of the golden blades. 3 clashes. With a wave of its claws, it knocked away 3 of Luo Feng's golden blades. As the blades were knocked away, heavenly blade formation. Luo Feng frowned. Immediately the surroundings golden energy rippled together, the 9 blades floated and formed a blade domain. Compared to the one on the heavenly bridge before, the blade domain now was obviously more organized and tighter. At least it didn't have blade energy dispersed in all directions anymore. Right now it was more condensed and controlled. With a glaring golden rainbow, one of the golden blades pierced forward, bringing with it the countless condensed blade energy and the domain behind it, piercing towards the beast. Howl. The beast let out a struggled howl and its furry tail waved as he accelerated to flee, as though he felt a terrifying force was attacking him. However, how could his running speed match up to the Nanshan armament's attack? Grumble. The beast that couldn't flee in time used both hands to clash with the blade rainbow. With a huge clash, the beast's thick arms were smashed open, golden blood spewed out, blood and bone flew in all directions, and the golden blade rainbow immediately pierced right through its head. Rumble. This ape-like beast immediately fell on the floor. Simultaneously, its golden blood and flesh etc. began to decay quickly, becoming chaos energy. A dark green light floated up from the corpse, primal chaos spirit. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, using some spirit energy to wrap around and retrieve the light. When his spirit energy touched the spirit began to melt with his spirit energy. Spirit energy is mental energy, and the spirit is large amounts of this formed together. It isn't strange that spirit energy is able to absorb the primal chaos spirit. Luo Feng took the remaining spirit and absorbed it into his internal core. None of his 3 bodies were the true core. The internal core was the true center. Rumble. The surrounding energies violently tremored. Howl. Howl. Bent bodies appeared one after another, their faces with white fur and that single eye, similar to the primal chaos beast before. They jumped out from the weeds as fast as lightning. With one glance, there were at least a few hundred of them. Some of their energies, some were obviously even stronger than the one earlier. Not good. Luo Feng didn't even think about fighting back. A silver-white pyramid automaton ship appeared in mid-air. However, the primal chaos beasts were simply too fast. Who? A dark red vine extended around Luo Feng's surface. Tens of thick vines fiercely extended towards the large group of beasts rushing over. Rumble. The tall and huge leader of the group was whipped by the vines. He spit out fresh blood but was still alive. Luo Feng rushed into the automaton ship and shut the cabin door. Rumble. Outside, the group of beasts were madly attacking the walls of the ship. However, this was an E-grade automaton ship. It wasn't something these beasts that were at most universe level 9 could deal with. I understand now how a group of geniuses, all of them having ships with large amounts of wealth, able to acquire powerful laser weapons, Gatling guns, how they could still die. Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. If it wasn't for the automaton ship, with the cloud contact vine he may have still gotten away, but it would have been difficult, hunting the primal chaos beasts. Yes, hunting just like hunters, quietly, killing in an instant, absorbing the spirit, and immediately distancing oneself from the scene. Luo Feng thought, when it let out its howl to attract its companions earlier, I shouldn't have fought on, but fleet immediately. In the air above Primal Chaos City, a silver-white pyramid automaton ship appeared in mid-air, following which the ship vanished and Luo Feng descended into the city from above. However, no one seemed to care about this scene at all. In the Black Dragon Mountain star field, the automaton ship was rare and extremely valuable. However, to those in Primal Chaos City, the sacred land of training for the entire humanity in the universe, the Undyings here, most of them had wealth beyond that of Hu Yangbo. An automaton ship was simply too common. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.